are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad we worked this out.
Yes.
You look gorgeous.
Thank you.
How,
You
oh my
too.
God, thank you. I appreciate it. Um, how are you like how is everything going? What have been up to?
Everything's been going really great. I've actually been studying at university. I'm
Oh,
studying music. Yeah, so I've actually been so happy. Like, I really get to experience like this behind the scenes sort of like take on like music and
yeah.
things like that. So it's been really, really interesting.
You're studying music?
Yeah,
That's amazing. That must be so cool.
producing and like mixing and things like that.
Oh, that's so fun. So maybe we're gonna hear some tracks in the future? Yeah?
Ah,
Okay.
yes, that's the goal.
That's the goal. Okay, we'll talk about that later. But I want to start off with, the program, competition, all of that we got into last week with Marquis. But so instead of like, I guess your inspiration for pursuing music in general, what drew you to like this competition in particular by Hype Geffen?
Oh, so I think with this competition, personally, I was always really obsessed with like Hybe's vision for like
Mhm.
groups and things like that. Like I personally, like rather than just like auditioning for just anything and everything, I was very interested in concepts and visions. And this Hype Geffen, the way they promoted it, they were saying like you're the main character and like and things like that. And that really like attracted to me to that like specific competition because I was like, oh, like I love that idea of just like being powerful and being like this main character of a story. I think that is what made me audition for like specifically Hype Geffen.
It was a really like cool vision once they introduced everything. Yeah. So I guess, at least in my perspective, we didn't really see much of many moments of like mental collapse with you. You seemed very resilient, very positive, like mindset, pretty composed. I guess the one time where we saw a little bit of vulnerability was when Lexi left. Was that truly the first time that I guess you faltered a little bit, or were there times before that we just didn't get to see?
There's so many times. I went through a lot, a lot. Like the company, I think also acknowledged, like I think everyone also
Yeah.
acknowledged how I went through because for me, I started like with resilience, it comes from like you get knocked down and you keep coming back up.
Hmm.
And so for me, that's I've experienced a lot. So when we started the program and like we started training, a lot of people assumed that I was like a dancer first and foremost and like I'm really like experienced in that, but I was not experienced in dancing like really at all. I was a really bad dancer and I was like, not that good of a singer. Like I had like tone and stuff, but I didn't know how to use my voice. So I think one of like the lower rankings at the start. So I think that was what my journey was about was I actually grew a lot in the program and with that came like months where I saw my improvement, but the instructors didn't see my improvement. So then I would get knocked down because I'm like, wait, but I swear, like, I'm doing exactly what you're telling me. And so it was a lot of back and forth of like me being confused because I wasn't experienced enough to see what they were seeing.
Yeah.
But then with me working hard, but then it was also like, there was girls that had experience in dancing and so they knew like the workload like training and exercising and things like that. I was really bad at that stuff, so it was so hard to like try and get better and get to all the other girls level while also being like not used to dancing this much, not used to training this much. So I was just as new as like someone that like didn't know how to dance and stuff like that. So that's when I was like mentally struggling the most because I could see myself on stage, I could see myself performing and being this amazing version of me, but it wasn't translating into my body
Mhm.
and they weren't seeing it as much. So I really had to push and prove myself. I think that was more of what I went through. And so, yeah, there was so much like crying, and the girls were there for me, and they were like, no, we see it, like, we're there for you. Um, and the mentors were really great in like helping me get better and I'm really happy with how like better I got. But yeah, definitely when Lexi left, that was not the first time that I like crashed, but it was definitely really, really, really hard to see her
I'm
go.
sure, yeah. And like you mentioned, like even if you were doing your best, I guess this is the first time where you realized, oh, that's not enough. Like I have to go even further than I probably think I do.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm sure that pressure sort of extended like during missions when that kind of stuff started. I want to go into the mission that everybody fell in love with and fell in love with you specifically, which is mission 3, Wanna Be with Spice Girls. Um, that was such an iconic performance. It was a hit with fans. The staff loved it. They even mentioned like that they imagined debuting you guys like just as you were. But
Yeah.
was there like is there a difference in stress when you're doing songs that are a little bit more fun and lighthearted, or is it the same amount of pressure because you want fan votes and all of that just the same?
That's a good question. I think it because I had a lot of fun doing the other missions too. I know what it was. It is, it's how you feel. Like for me specifically, it's how I felt dressed up stylistically. That makes such a big difference. And I think it's something that not a lot of um fans can like get an insight into because they just see like the artist dressed up and they can say their judgments on it, but like I don't think they're ever taking into account properly like how the artist feels about how they're dressed up,
Yeah.
because they constantly go through changes, different hairstyles and things like that, and they have to make it work. But really on the inside, you could be feeling yourself or you could be not like feeling yourself. And I guess for me, wannabe, I loved the way I was styled. So I had such a fun time like dancing and feeling like my ponytail and things like that. I mean, fun fact actually, the ponytail I originally had a longer one, but it was hurting so much. I started crying. Like I had to take like medicine and we had to get me like a lighter like
Yeah, because you're
ponytail
bouncing around and all of that. Yeah.
and we had to like throw our heads and stuff.
Mhm.
So it's things like that, I think, that make or break the performance. And yeah, so for like mission 1, for example, like I like the outfits and stuff like that, but I think that like if it's not necessarily my style, it was just harder to like really show myself and things like that.
Mhm.
And then yeah, same with mission 2. There was a little bit of like hesitation in mission 2, like with Fearless, because we were on a helicopter pad and we weren't told until like a bit like soon. And I was like, wait,
Okay.
so I was really scared. Like I was scared my shoes were just gonna slip and I was just gonna start like flying off. I think that's what really plays into the professionalism of like being an artist, is really being able to like embody whatever you're given and just like give that out. And so I think yeah, with me, Wannabe, I was really, really happy with like how it was styled. The day was so beautiful, the setup was amazing. Um, and I loved my team too. Like we had a lot of fun, but we also went through a lot. I think also going through a lot and being able to still push through. Like we just lost Lexi and we were training with her.
Mhm.
So to be able to like suddenly become a 4 and then just like do the dance, going through a lot and then being able to just like look at each other and smile through the dance like, oh, it's going to be okay. Like we've got each other. I think
Mhm.
that also really helped that performance.
Yeah, and I'm sure it brings you closer, a little bit. But speaking of like stylistic choices and stuff, your ponytail, your little like pigtails in OMG, so adorable. And like I know that as far as like what we saw, when you guys sort of got to take a break from like rehearsal and stuff and you did all the like the first time you guys all sat in makeup chairs and got like your creative vision done with the creative directors and stuff, like that I feel like is the was would probably be the point for me where like I would be like, this is what I dreamed about in like the pop star life. Like I get
Yeah.
my own hair and makeup team, I get to get dressed up and all of that. What was that experience like?
Oh, that was amazing. And personally for me, growing up, I was always obsessed with the industry. Like I wanted to be a makeup artist at one point. I wanted to be a hairstylist at one
Mhm.
point. I wanted to do fashion at one point. Then I wanted to be an artist and things like that. So being able to meet those people that like I looked up to, because every field of this industry is so interesting and it's filled with such creative people. So to be able to like see them and they come and they do your hair and you get to see how they're like doing it in their own special ways and they're such like professionals and you've got your little chair. Oh, like it makes you feel so like amazing. It's like dazzling. And then like I think there was one moment where like we like came onto set and then there was this guy with a little like speaker and he was like, okay, the talent is here. And you're like,
Oh
ah,
my God.
that like makes you feel so fun. I think I remember Megan's mom. I think it was like shot in like Pop Star Academy. Megan's mom was like, yeah, I've got the talent in the back or something like
Oh, I
that.
remember that. It was, yeah.
I was like, oh, like I love that. That was so
Oh my God,
funny.
you're the talent.
Yeah, exactly. The stuff is like unbelievable. Like I still have like a little card from like an after party of the finale, and it literally has like Dream Academy like talent written on it. And I just think it's
Oh.
so like it's so nice, like being able to like feel that feeling. Like it really does feel like you're an artist and you're experiencing your dream. Like it felt like Hannah Montana at like the start of her movie where she like opens up her like makeup pouch and it's like,
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
Or like, did you ever watch all the Disney Channel movies with like Sharpay and stuff?
Yes, that's exactly what it
It's like Sharpay in her dressing room in High School
was.
Musical, you know?
Oh my God, fittings were exactly like that. There was just clothes everywhere. And if
Really?
you're interested in something, you can just like say, like, oh, this looks interesting. And he's like, oh, do you want to try it? And like, oh, it's so fun.
Oh, that's so fun. Tell me about Korea. I know that, you speak a little bit of Korean. I'm sure you listened to K-pop and stuff, so like you got to live that out a little bit. I mean, you were still training and all of that, but you did get to explore the culture a little bit. What was that like?
That was actually, I think that was really when it was like a dream come true, especially for me. Everyone knew in the program that I was like, I knew a lot of like K-pop and stuff like that. They would come to me when they were like, Israela, like tell me about K-pop in the industry and stuff, because I was very well versed in it. So coming to Korea was actually really just a dream come true. I felt like something felt different. I felt slightly different from where I was in LA. I felt like Korea was like, I was like, I can see myself like living here. Like there was something about it that really made me feel like at home in a way. Like I loved the way they do like life in Korea. Like it was just so beautiful. The country was beautiful. The food was unreal and amazing. Um and yeah, training in Korea, I just felt like I was where I was supposed to be, which was just amazing.
I'm sure. And I want to point out like a specific point in the finale era of the show where you speak a little bit on Indian representation and how, your dream did in a way come true because, you got to see an Indian girl representation in this group. Can you talk a little bit about like how, like growing up, how representation affected, your views on media, like music, culture, things like that?
Yeah. So if you were to ask me, like, who's my inspiration in the industry, I would have a hard time answering you and I would have to like think about it a lot before getting back to you. And the reason is I prefer having someone that looks like me and, like comes from like a similar background. And like, I feel like there really wasn't a lot of that growing up, especially like South Asian, I couldn't have seen any like Malayalis
Yeah.
in the industry. Although there is one now. There is I think Hanuman Kind, so is a Malayali.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's coming up now, but yeah, growing up, there was not a lot. I couldn't look at someone and be like, oh, like, I like that's like me, like, oh, that's like my character, like so I'm like that person. And so like, going to school and like everyone talking about like maybe blonde girls being like, oh, like I love Hannah Montana and like things like that. Like it was hard for me and I really wanted to change that. I wanted there to be someone that looked like me or could represent me. And so I would even find like even like any actor that like was in any like role, no matter small or big, I would be like, wow, they're so amazing. And they were so amazing because like
Mhm.
they're always so great. But yeah, it was hard in the Western industry, like the pop industry, seeing that. But I think for me, a great like and good part of it was the Bollywood industry. I got to watch like so much like Hindi movies growing up, and I loved the actors there, and like the culture of them dancing and singing with like
Mhm.
all enjoying the movies and like things like that. Like that made me really happy. Like I would always like mimic that. I would be dancing and singing to like one of the movies, like in the dance performances. And I think that's what really like made me love performing. So I will credit Bollywood to that because that's what really like I think I don't know when in the industry, but it started becoming really singing based or really like, or the dancers would dance and the singers would sing. Whereas I feel like in India, they always kept it consistent of doing both at the same time. And that is something that I really love. Like, I love like coupling the two. So I have to say, like, that representation from Bollywood is like how I got my love of like performing and like I would do that for my grandparents and they would love that and I would love seeing them smile. So then like I would want to keep doing that. But yeah, I think growing up like in the pop industry, I was having a really hard time finding like a specific role model that like I wanted to like represent me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was something that was pretty
Mhm.
hard.
I didn't even think about that correlation, but that's so interesting. Like you saw people singing and dancing, even if it wasn't in the Western world, but you got to apply that to your, I guess, your journey as an artist in the Western world. But I do want to point out that you did serve as that kind of representation for a lot of girls watching the show and watching your journey. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Just professionally, personally?
I think in 5 years, it's hard because like I'm still experiencing all the different sides of music and like choosing what I love from it. But I would say just being more confident in doing what I love. I think right now I'm exploring what I love and like I'm figuring all of that out. But I think hopefully in 5 years, I have like little mini goals. Like I have like I want to be fully fluent in Korean. I want to be fully fluent in Japanese. And I also want to like the reason I'm doing all of like my studying and like my like exploring of music is because I want to create something that's entirely mine, which is like really important to me. So that's why like I think um before like all of the like training and stuff, I was just more than happy to like receive music that was like given to me. But I suddenly like developed like this interest for actual music and concept and vision. So I think like hopefully in 5 years, I will make something that's completely my vision, completely my concept, and just like something that's just completely mine. And like that represents like Israela as a person.
And I feel like it's such, obviously, like, even if you make music designed by other people, you are proud of that work, but it's such a different level and such a different type of pride when it's like completely your own and you see people enjoying it. So that is motivation. Um, I wish you good luck in your studies. We're so excited to see what happens afterwards. Um, are you working on anything in particular right now that you can show off a little bit? Or are you in the preparation stages for like working on that stuff in the future?
I have a lot of demos that I've made, like producing demos and things like that. And I have a lot of ideas for like if I were to make an album and things like that. But nothing I can show just yet. Like it's for the same reason that like I'm trying to be more active on like Instagram and TikTok, but I'm such a perfectionist. Like if my arm doesn't go to here in like 1 second of the dance, then I'll be like, no, I have to reshoot it or I have to do it like again, like I can't post it. So like I'm trying to get better at things like that. So I can't exactly show or tease like anything that I'm making just yet, because I am such a perfectionist about it. But I am trying to get over that. So hopefully, like once I really get something going, especially with like my new knowledge from studying, I really do want to tease like to the people like what I'm kind of interested in pursuing because I know I have been keeping everyone on like I've been like a little bit like away from like social media and things like that because I'm just trying to focus on it. But yeah, I do hope to tease people in the future about it, but right now I'm still a little bit a perfectionist on it.
hmm I mean, you are pretty active on Instagram, and I think like we viewers like who know you already, we know you're a perfectionist. We know like that's only gonna make the best outcome in the future. So, don't push yourself, but we are excited. Um, yeah, I mean, like what would you like to experiment with in the future? Like what kind of music do you think?
Oh, one thing I've always wanted to experiment with is I mean a lot of people are doing it now and a lot of people have been doing it, but bringing more Bollywood into or like just Indian music into like the pop like I just love it. I love like all the instruments, like it's just like whenever I was having like a bad time in the program, I would just put my like Bollywood playlist on or like my Indian playlist on and like it just made me feel so at home. And so I want to make something like that that just like goes like big. And it is going big now. So it is the time to do it. But I think that's one thing. And then also I'm really interested in concept music. So music based on like different concepts, like
Yeah.
one that's like kind of like a game sort of sound or one that's like kind of like a creepy sort of sound or like but it all still ties into like pop music but it just has slight genres that like make you think about like certain like concepts. I really love like that idea because I've always been interested in so many different fields. Like I've been interested in K-pop, I've been interested in anime, I've been interested in Bollywood, I've been interested in like normal like Netflix TV shows and things like that. And so I've seen all the music and how different each of those are. And so to just kind of bring that into like a song like
Mhm.
in different ways, like I think would just be so fun. So I think that's kind of what my like goal is.
That's actually so unique and so cool. And that like the concept idea is so influenced by K-pop, which I think you would do so well in because you kind of showed us a little bit of that in the show. Speaking of the Bollywood sound and pop music, there's like this Indian girl group that I've been following lately. I don't know if you know them.
Wish?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
They're
yes,
so cute.
so cute. And their vocals are so
I
good.
know. I was like surprised that they didn't have a bigger following, but they're
I
so
know.
cool. Yeah.
See, that's the sort of thing that like I also want to go into. Part of my degree, we do get to study music business. And that's actually something like a lot of the staff at Hybe have told me that I could actually go into. They
That's what
see
I'm
me,
planning on going into.
yeah, oh my
Yeah.
God, really? Oh
Yeah.
my God, yeah. So like being like a music like business like executive or something like that is something I'm also really interested in. And
Mhm.
it's things like Wish, like I'm wondering like why aren't they more popular? Like I want to like figure that out and like figure out how to make a group like that that can be really popular and like, like things like that. Like I
Yeah.
want to out.
That's so fun. Oh my God. I honestly like I want to do like creative direction for music as well, music artists. I feel like that'd be so fun.
Me and Marky were actually talking about it. We were saying this is a joke, but we don't know. But like starting like our own little like company where like we do like visions for like other groups and stuff like that. Because like me and Marky love like talking about like concepts for groups and stuff. Like you know how a lot of companies like to tease like new groups, but we don't know the concepts yet. Me and Marky like start like brainstorming. Oh, we would think like if they did this with this like phrase and things like that like it would be really nice and so like that is something that we were also interested in.
So start that business with her and then hire me.
Yes, oh my
Let's
gosh, oh my God, that'd be so fun.
Oh my God, that would actually be such a successful business.
It really would. I do think so.
Well, our time is coming to an end, unfortunately, but this was so fun.
Oh, thank you so much, this has actually been so fun. Bye.
Bye.